Hi folks, welcome to your MWIS Winter Planner. This updated on Friday the 13th of January. We have a generally cold outlook for the week ahead, with terrain becoming extensively frozen from the lowest slopes upwards as we get some hard frosts into the valleys and the glens early in the new week. We've got some snowfall to come as well in places, mostly just showers, and that will vary from day to day, but that will lie extensively even to some lower slopes. The wind speeds will vary. At times may still reach gale force, but also some spells of lighter winds, but do be prepared for significant wind chill factors across the mountains. This chart gives you the expected pressure patterns over the week ahead, and where we see the bluer colours, that is lower than average pressure, and the pinker colours is higher than average pressure. And the orientation of this allows the north to northwesterly airflow to prevail, with the general low sitting just to our east. So the week as a whole is going to see that cold weather before just then the suggestion of Atlantic patterns trying to return by the end of the upcoming week and for next weekend, probably then becoming milder. Indications suggest quite a pattern swap taking place around that next weekend and into the final week of January, with higher pressure than suggested to be lying to the east of us and lower pressure out over the Atlantic. There will be a degree of uncertainty with such a change taking place through that time, but it may well be that we go into a more settled regime in the later stages of the month. The temperature is uncertain. It will really depend on the source of the air at that stage. Probably milder for a time, but it could be some chillier and frosty conditions that still exist if high pressure does park itself over the top of us. Now, one of the more confident aspects of the forecast in the next few days is the temperature and therefore the freezing level. The absolute weather detail is a little bit more tricky. So let's just run through this, starting off with midnight on Saturday. And at that stage, we have a warm sector, a milder push of air just moving through, and some heavy rain again within that over England and Wales. Still colder air that exists, though, over Scotland, and for the Highlands, precipitation that comes in falling as snow. Now, the freezing level will drop again from the northwest through Saturday daytime over England and Wales, falling below 800 metres, and for the Highlands, barely getting much above 600 metres overall. Now, as we take things onwards through overnight into Sunday, that freezing level is broadly down to around 600 metres, a few spots maybe just a bit higher near to the coasts, but it stays as that fairly low freezing level through the daytime, between around 400 and 600 metres then across much of the country, a bit higher maybe towards South Wales. Taking things onwards into the new week, and to take things through fairly quickly, it's a low freezing level that will stay in existence Monday onwards into Tuesday. Frozen terrain essentially into the valleys then, with some very low overnight temperatures, could be down -10 or below in some Highland glens early in the week, and even well below freezing through England and Wales as well. So there only will be some slight thawing of terrain on lower sunlit slopes up to around 400 metres or so, maybe a touch higher close to some western coasts, but overall expect frozen and icy conditions to be in existence much of the week ahead. Changes trying to develop at the back end of the week, and there will be uncertainty of timing, but it does just seem by later Thursday into Friday, you see that push of milder air trying to come in from the Atlantic. That could be a spell of snowfall turning to rain as that transition takes place. Does look as though by the end of the week, though, freezing levels are likely to lift considerably, even above zero, even to the higher mountain tops. Now, a tentative look at the snow depth situation going forward 6 hours at a time, and most of lying snow is over the Highlands as we go into the start of Saturday, with England and Wales seeing that heavy spell of rain overnight. It may, though, turn icy on the higher summits through Saturday daytime, so do be aware of that one. But the snow tops itself up over the Highlands as we go into Saturday morning, with the front just pushing through, and then some further clusters of heavy showers, making some maybe greater snowfall accumulations into western Scotland through Saturday afternoon. The potential some quite severe conditions setting in here. Now, as that temperature drops further southwards, the chance of some snow developing further south across Scotland, and may well be even over the hills of England and Wales overnight into Sunday. The model struggling to really handle that at this stage. The indication there somewhere over the Pennines, but the Lake District may well see something as well. Maybe more than suggested here then as we go to the start of Sunday. But the main share of the snow is very much over the Highlands, but do expect England and Wales, the tops, to start seeing some lying snow by this stage. Overnight into Monday is the great uncertainty, and if you see any of the TV forecasts, you'll know that's what's the big question at the moment is just what happens to a developing low that moves through. There is the potential for a snowfall more widely over England and Wales. It may hardly come to this, so watch this space really for that detail, but just one to be aware of that there could well be a snowfall even further southwards by this time. By and large, whatever snow exists at the start of the week will exist for a good few days ahead, and further showers coming in from the north and northwest will top things up even further. Northern Scotland, greatest chance for snow more frequently, so the greatest depths very much there. The depths elsewhere are very much at the mercy of just what happens with dregs of old fronts, but there is that potential through midweek to see lying snow across many of our hills and mountains. But notice northern Scotland, that is where the greatest amounts are. Very considerable totals then lying across the mountains. Here's the synoptic chart for Saturday. We have low pressure in charge with two really separate centres, one pulling away eastwards and fronts clearing through over the North Sea, and another centre of low pressure which is coming back in to Western Scotland. And that sort of wraparound feature could well bring some severe conditions then with snow and hail clustering together and setting in over western mountains locally, and gales or severe gales coming in with that as well. Generally, gale force winds across the hills of England and Wales all the way through the day, but becoming increasingly severe afternoon into evening time. Showers then coming in to these western areas as well. Now, I'm going to run the sequence onwards just through the days ahead with the uncertainty in the forecast, but this model chart perhaps has the most likely scenario developing. The chart shows the general precipitation, most of which will fall as snow over the mountains. The white colours indicated on this chart is the extent of the cloud. Now, this is overnight into Sunday, where the various clusters that were around from late Saturday start to sink southwards over North England, and that's the scope for some snowfalls here. This chart may overdo it somewhat, but nevertheless, there is that chance of some persistent snowfalls over those hills for a while across the Pennines, the Lake District, and into North Wales as well. For Sunday daytime, some further showers will be around, and some showers scattered about toward the west and the north of Scotland, but a good part of the Highlands looks to see a dry and fairly bright day with some varied cloud and some sunshine. Comparatively lighter winds here, but do be prepared for a significant chill factor over the tops. Air temperatures then well below freezing point over the Highland tops by this stage, and a windy day still with showers across England and Wales. For Sunday evening and night, we see a developing feature coming up from the southwest. Now, the most likely track is taking this through the English Channel with some rain and some snow possibly on its northern edge skirting across the south of England. Possibly some dregs of old fronts again still across northern England giving some areas of snow. There is a lower risk that that centre of low pressure pushes further northwards and gives snow, as mentioned, further into central England. It looks at the least likely scenario at this stage. Onwards into Monday daytime, we will see north to northwesterly winds, showers of snow and hail coming into northern and western parts of Scotland, areas facing into that northwesterly wind. But away from those areas, a dry, bright, and largely sunny day. The blacker colours on the chart indicating that skies are mainly clear. A few bands of snow showers feeding in off the Irish Sea into North and West Wales. Without trying to be too clever, broadly the message through to midweek is that these north to northwesterly winds continue. Further showers then affecting those windward mountains in the north and the west, always falling as snow to low elevations. The wind speed may vary from day to day, so check the latest forecast for that. There's possibly some lulls, but also spells where it may be not far off gale force, so be prepared for severe wind chill factors, and the air temperatures will stay very low. The main change seems to happen after midweek, where we tip things back around toward the Atlantic. Fronts will be coming in, a spell of snow turning to rain, and then I suspect by the end of the week there is more of a considerable thaw that takes place as west or southwesterly winds then return. Plenty to watch then. You can keep up to date every day on our website for your local area. That's your winter planner. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.